Hello and welcome to the Fit Girl Club Confidently You podcast. So, in today's episode, I have a very special guest, but we do have a slight trigger warning. There is mention of suicidal thoughts. So, if that affects you, please skip this episode. If you or anyone you know is struggling with suicide or suicidal thoughts, then that is information for you and help available in the show notes. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Confidently You podcast. Today we have a very special guest and we have Elizabeth with us here today. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi.
So, Elizabeth, you've probably seen her before if you've seen any of my social media posts, or if you are currently a client of mine, as she's one of my poster girls, as I like to call her. She is one of my clients who has had fantastic success. And she's here today to tell you all about how that success has worked for her, what she did in the past, what her life's been like a bit before leading up to starting with Fit Girl Club. And really, I want you to listen to her story and hopefully you will resonate with some of the things she tells you. I like to you all of how progress is possible and how you can get results like her without overhauling your life and how simple it can be to be consistent. Now, Elizabeth, I think your middle name is Elizabeth Consistent, if that was a middle name. She's consistently consistent. So buckle up and have a listen to this one. So let's start, Elizabeth. Want to tell me a bit about you and where you're from, where do you live now? Because you're not actually originally from where you live. And maybe a bit about what you do for work. Just add something in.
Okay. Yeah. I was born in England, but I spent 35 years in New Zealand. Went when I was 2 years old and then came back 10 years ago with my husband and 3 children. And currently I'm working for a mail order company, taking sales calls, and I really enjoy that. I did spend 3.5 years packing in the warehouse prior to being in the call center, and so in contrast, I absolutely love my job now. Loving living on the coast, North Yorkshire coast.
That's maybe a bit of a tell about like how well you've done with working with me to your like background with your career going from like the warehouse. That's obviously you've had some promotions there, haven't you? High achiever, are you?
Well, I'm working at it. We have KPIs to meet, and I'm very competitive. And this year, I'm trying to get better results, and the last 2 months have been quite good. So, yeah, getting there.
I think you're a high achiever in all aspects of life. I didn't actually know that you weren't born in New Zealand. So you've lived here for
Mm.
2 years, then went to New Zealand, obviously got your Kiwi accent. That's where that's come
Mm-hmm.
from. And then moved back. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I've learned something new today about you, Elizabeth. So good to know. Right.
Well,
So tell me a little bit about what life was like before you worked with me, before you started with Fit Girl Club.
when we came to England, it was quite stressful. I didn't realize it was easy leaving New Zealand, but it was getting here and it was stressful. And over the following 5 years, I had a couple of mental health episodes where stress overtook me and I needed help. And following that, the following 5 years, been well, but it was a challenging time of just surviving and healing, I think, but not really getting out and about, just sort of hibernating. And so I didn't do a lot of exercise. Basically, after work, I would just chill. On the weekends, I'd just chill. Even in the first 5 years, and even probably in the first 5 years in between the ups and downs I experienced bouts of depression, periods of depression that was, some of the time I didn't want to be here. Wish I had the courage to end it all, but I didn't. I'm glad I didn't because life is great now, but it wasn't easy. But yeah, leading up to working with you, I was just in survival mode, really.
That's so tough as well, though. Like for anyone that's ever suffered with low mood, mental health, depression, or anything like that, the last thing you want to do is go out and do
Mm.
something that requires energy. It's an energy drainer. It's an energy sapper. And thank you so much for sharing that, Elizabeth, because I know it's probably really hard to talk to, and we're not going to pull on that thread today. Thank you for sharing with us where you were before. And I'm just so grateful that you're still around and that we've been able to help you get some enjoyment in life. And, I know you've done a lot of work yourself on your mental health, and that gave me the opportunity then to give the in of helping you with your physical health, which has then in turn helped you with your mental health. Like a circle. I always call
Mhm.
everything a circle, don't I? Everything
Mhm.
keys together. So when you worked on your mental health, you were feeling a bit, for want of a better word, when did you think about getting help, and what prevented you from getting it sooner? Was it just the mental health episodes or anything else?
So the I think I'd gotten to a point because I was size 16, and I was even telling a friend of mine that I was okay with where I was at because I'd settled that much that I thought it wasn't possible for me to lose anything. In the past, I had lost a lot of weight. Like after I had my second child, I lost a lot of weight as part of a program, but I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't want to go down that route again. And I really felt like I was stuck, and that it wasn't a possibility for me. The clincher for me was when I moved from the warehouse to the call center. Obviously was sitting rather than moving about all the time, and my size 16 jeans started tightening, and I'm like, wow, boy, I can't get any bigger than this. I'd previously seen your drop a dress size challenge in November, I think it was. Um, I was put off by the counting calories bit, and I'm like, nah, not for me.
Yeah.
But when I got to the desk job and feeling my jeans tightening, I'm like, I have to do something. And I'm so grateful that you were right there
Mm.
with your program, right when I needed you.
Meant to be. Yeah, it's just so hard because you settle to think that was your normal. That was your normal. That was it.
Mhm,
It wasn't that you were just like, this is just normal. This is who I am. This is where I'm going to be at. And then it's your wake up call to like, then because that was what's happened. You've gone from being in the warehouse, being stood up, then sat down in a sales position, sedentary. And then it's easy
mhm,
just to get stuck in these cycles. And
mm.
then, yeah, it starts creeping up, and it's when I've had that before, years ago, when my jeans I got a size 14 jeans, and they won't fit, and I was like, "Nope, the sizing's wrong. Nope." I was like adamant it wasn't the jeans. Sorry, it was the jeans, not me.
Yeah.
And it's a wake-up call sometimes, whether no matter what size you are or where you are, I think a lot of people will resonate with that, where they have that wake-up call and go, I can't carry on like this. And yeah, for everyone watching or listening, I know Elizabeth from when I was doing my classes in Filey. So you were coming to my classes, weren't you? When you saw the drop a dress size challenge, you were already coming in to the fitness classes, and you'd actually gone to fitness classes before that from another lady who did classes in Filey, who
Mhm.
did weightlifting, didn't she? Strength training.
Yeah.
Everything. So I think those signs there. I think momentum does cause motivation. I talk about this a lot. It's not just about you woke up one day and went, I need to fix everything. You'd started making little steps.
The reason I started that was to get more stronger, rather than lose weight. So that was interesting. It wasn't because it was so far out of my realm of possibility that I just wanted to get stronger, lifting weights as I head towards menopause age.
Yeah. I always say everyone should be lifting weights no matter their age. The older we get, we should all be lifting weights, something I talk about quite a lot. So let's move forward to then. So you did the drop a dress size challenge. What was your first impressions of me when you signed up then? What did you think of me all those months ago? So you already knew me though, so that's a
That was really helpful to know you in person. I remember talking to you after one of the classes saying, I'm interested in this drop a dress size challenge. And obviously, I was put off by the calorie counting in November, but you quickly encouraged me to give it a try. And I found that it was actually easier than I thought. Yeah, it was during the drop a dress size challenge that I got to know how you work. And absolutely brilliant. And it was a no brainer to carry on with you after that.
So was that the bit you found surprising, the calorie counting? Was it more the realization that it wasn't as challenging as you thought it might be, or was there any surprising about the program?
It was a calorie counting and how easy it was, and also how it wasn't like the other programs I'd done in the past, which was quite life limiting or life changing and difficult. Whereas this, I could eat normally, and I could enjoy what I was eating.
So when you started with me, was there anything you found challenging at the beginning? Anything you needed to change or?
I remember struggling with my 5,000 steps a day bit, which is crazy. But I was so used to being sedentary and, as I said earlier, chilling after work, chilling on the weekends. I didn't make time didn't get up very often at all. So trying to fit the 5,000 steps around my work shifts felt like a real challenge. I felt like I had hardly any time to do other things that I wanted to do. But in the process of trying to meet that challenge that you set me, I've grown to love getting out and about and doing my daily steps. And obviously now my weekly is 70,000, around about 70,000, and it's not hard to do. I love getting out in the fresh air, and I normally have company on my walk, so it's really lovely.
I absolutely love that because I knew you found it a bit challenging because everyone does, but I didn't know like that was one of the biggest challenges because to look at you now and to know you now, you love getting outside and you love walking and you love being in the outdoors and getting your steps in and it's a priority in your life. So that's amazing that Elizabeth 10 months ago was like, "Oh, 5,000 steps is hard," when now you're easily doing double that, if not
Yeah.
more. You plan some weekends, don't you now, on based on going out and about and seeing different
Mm.
places with your husband or if
Yeah,
you
we went to
yeah,
Grassington,
well,
in the Yorkshire Dales, in July actually, and did a circular walk. So we were walking for 4.5 hours, and yeah, it was great. Loved it. And my poor husband, he has not been doing as much exercise as I do, obviously, and so he suffered a little bit afterwards, which was quite funny. And I didn't break a sweat.
oh, I love that, and also I love that you can encourage him to get out and about with you, so that's
Mhm.
fantastic. Oh, so was there anything in the program that you felt you personally needed to overcome, and did you need to change it in any way to get results?
I think it was great because when I started the Drop a Dress Size Challenge, which was the beginning of my journey with you, I look back at my records for my centimeter measurements, sorry, weekly measurements, and I dropped 13 centimeters, I think, in the first week. So, which was crazy. It was so encouraging, and also. One of your other clients, Laura, posted in the group that she went from a 16 to a 12 in 5 months, I think she did. To me, that was my goal. That was what I wanted to do, what I wanted to get to. So having that early on was just, I remember buzzing about it to the people in my life. Like, this lady did this, and so that,
Oh,
just gave me hope that I could do it too. So I think that was the biggest thing to overcome, was my mindset, because I had been so stuck and thought that it wasn't
yeah.
possible for me. Seeing the results, my own results quickly, and then hearing somebody else's results, just combined to change my mindset. So I knew it was possible, and I was going to crack on, and I was going to do it.
A bit of belief and a sprinkle of hope will always
Mm.
will always work. That's
Mm.
fantastic. And yeah, I always say like the first week. I'm always very aware to tell people first week is usually like massive loss. You're not going to lose 13 centimeters every week, but it's about consistency and sticking with it. And you had that. And like I
Absolutely.
said, you had that all the way through. So was there a moment, like the first moment when you knew it would work? Was that the moment from the first week?
I think so. Yeah, I think because it felt so doable, the counting calories, and felt really doable, and something I could consistently keep at. Yeah, so first 6 weeks, I think I went to see a friend in the first 6 weeks, and so I wasn't perfect that week, but I still overall got good results, and knew that I wanted to commit for the long term to reach my goal. Yeah.
I think it's really good when you have those moments. You can be perfect for a few weeks. And I think when people do the challenge, especially because it is 6-week challenge, they'll think, right, I'll do this perfectly for 6 weeks, get amazing results. But then no one's life's perfect, especially not for 6 weeks and not forever. And then you'll have that time where you go either have to go socialize or a meal out or time with your friends where you can loosen the reins a bit and realize you can still get results. I
Mhm.
think that can be a big mindset shift as well, where you see, well, actually, there is a future in this where I don't actually have to be strict. Like you said, you've done an old program when after you'd had your second child, and that was really restrictive, whereas you've seen through this time, through the first 6 weeks, well, I don't have to be that. And then you were like, I remember speaking to you, and I remember you saying about the 16 to a 12. And I was like, look, I can never put a number on something because it's about you doing it, and I can't be there to put the food in your mouth or make you go out and do your steps or things like that. But if you consistently do what I tell you to do, you will get there because
Mm.
it is possible. And you just were like, you just trusted me that I was going to
Yeah.
get you there. And then look at us. 10 months
Yeah, yeah.
later, there and there forever. That's the key thing, there forever.
Yeah.
So, what is something that even now is a challenging part of maintaining your results? So you've got from it. So Elizabeth's got from a 12 to no, she hasn't. From a 16 to a 12, not a 12 to a 16. That I'd be doing my job very wrong there. And now she's maintaining, and I've taught her how to maintain. And you actually stopped tracking. I think we stopped 3 or 4 weeks ago. You've not been tracking, have you? And you've learned how to stop tracking. So, was there anything challenging about maintaining?
Well, with the freedom to not track, and we talked about, well, I like my little treats, you see, and
Yes.
it's been really helpful because you said, well, use it calories like 1 to 200 calories as a guide. So yeah, like I'm a sucker for a box of Lindors, and they're my favorite chocolates. And I'm still tempted to have more than 1 to 2, but all I have to do is remember where that got me and do not want to go back there. So temptation is still there, but I'm able to resist it, which is great for me. And the other day, well, I went out for morning tea or whatever with at a cafe with my husband on after a walk on Saturday, and I was able to have a lovely scone. It was the most delicious scone I've ever had in my life, and I was able to enjoy it and not feel bad about
Yes.
it. But the next evening, I went to reach for a Tim Tam, which is obviously harkening back to New Zealand days, but they're available in one of the supermarkets here.
They're like a penguin, but they're better.
Yes, yeah, definitely better. I can
Yeah.
resist
It's
penguins, but
similar. Yeah, I know it is a completely different thing. Like a penguin, I love a Tim Tam, but it is a bit like a penguin, but more chocolate and just better
yeah.
and just nicer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to reach for one thinking, well, I haven't had a treat today. And then I'm like, do I need it? And I decided I didn't. And I put it back and I walked away. And I just felt so proud of myself. Yeah. And I was like, well, because a part of me was thinking, well, I did have that lovely scone yesterday. I do need to compensate a little bit because I don't want to put on. So it's just these little choices. And I'm able to make the right ones.
I'm so happy because it's like I'm talking through you. And I love that. And I love that, like, it sounds like that scone tasted so much better because you enjoyed it and you didn't feel guilty. And it's the whole experience of it. Instead of like if we have stuff every day, it does lose its joy. It just
Mm.
becomes part of life. And if you're giving yourself, for want of a better word, treats every day, and then just that mindset shift, Elizabeth, it's just honestly, I'm so proud. I couldn't be happy. I'm smiling. Look at me. Look at like it's seeing you succeed gives me the most joy that I could ever have as a
Mm.
coach. That's all I ever want for my clients. And you saying that that voice is still there. And I think this is something really important that's going to resonate with a lot of people. And once they recognize this, it can be a big shift in their outlook. That voice will always be there. That little
Mm.
voice saying, eat the treat, eat this, it is always there, but it's quieter. I have it.
Mm.
We all have it. That little, I always think of it like devil and angel, but some of my clients say it's like a little Helen on the shoulder, not the one saying eat the treat, but the one that's louder going, do you need it? Because a lot of the time you don't. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you really want it and you can fit in. This is why it's so hard because it's that balancing block of it. But yeah, absolutely love that. Well done. You're fantastic.
Mm.
So, tell everyone, what did you actually achieve during the program? So you actually worked with me for 10 months. We got you from a 16 to a 12, but what else did you achieve?
So, well, I know you don't like the scales, but I still use the scales because it's a measurement for me. Not I've learned from you not to make that the main thing, but I did lose
Yes.
about 20 kilos, which is just over 3 stone. I have to interpret for people all the time, so I looked it up especially.
Amazing, amazing though. I don't know why as British you still use stones and pounds when it confuses me as well. But yeah, well done. And I
Yeah.
know I don't like scales as a metric of success. If you were focused on that and that was your only goal, it can have negative connotations because one week it might go up, but you can still lose on measurements, which you probably saw. But
Mm.
using all of it has got you to where you need to be. So yeah, if you use scales, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, but I mean the big one is 90 centimeters from various
Amazing.
parts of my body, which is
I had to double
quite
check
heavy.
it. I honestly, because I don't want to send you your final results and it be wrong, because that's not fair. I had to double check. I think I triple checked with yours because I was like, this is just amazing.
Yeah, and as you told me as well, I lost nearly 20% body fat, which is huge, isn't it?
Over. You didn't near over
Oh,
20% body
over.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 22. It honestly, life changing, life changing. I use a body fat percentage calculator that anyone can get online, and it's a Navy SEAL one. And before, just so you know, you could not have entered the Navy SEALs, but you now can.
Oh, I
You
can now. I'm eligible.
can
Wow.
now. You have You might not pass the fitness test because it'll probably be absolutely ridiculously impossible. I don't think any of us listening to this would pass it. If you can, good for you. But you are in a body fat percentage that you can apply. Well done. Life goal achieved. It's not just about that. It's about your health. It's about your health and it's about
Yeah.
longevity and things like that. So you also did a training program. Tell the audience a bit about what you've learned and what you've done with your training. This is a bit off the
So
cuff question as well.
so I started just with I think I started with a couple well, with your Friday sessions, and I've kept it on with the lady who took over from you and Filey, so twice a week. But then I've also been worked up to doing a 3 at home with through the app with you, so 5 workouts a week, as well as on top of the 70,000 steps a week. So
That's so
I've,
funny. Literally, we're like, old you. Let's go back to Elizabeth in like maybe December last year, November. I can't do 5,000 steps. I ain't got enough time to do that. 5 workouts a week out of choice. This is never forced. And she built
mm,
up gradually over time. I think it's really important to say that. She started with
mm,
2, used to come to 2 classes of mine, and you still go to 2 of the lady that took over, Amy, and 5,000 steps. This is the thing. And this is the thing everyone needs to recognize. Elizabeth didn't wake up in January and become the person she is today. She has been consistent with little changes over time where she's
no.
built up. And you're so strong now as well. I think you at the top end with some of your weights that you've got.
Yeah, I'm using the yeah,
15 kilograms,
sometimes.
everyone. 15
Yeah.
kilograms.
I kind of wanted to say also, like, harkening back to the beginning, during the 6-week challenge, you set a goal or challenge for us to do 20,000 steps. We could do it in 2
It was
blocks,
a
and I
10K
decided
walk.
to
It was a 10K walk. I
10K
remember
walk.
it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 10K walk. And I did it all
No,
at
no.
once. I could have done it in 2 lots, and I'm like, no, let's go for it. And ended up hurting my calf. But the amazing thing about that was I wasn't able to get out and do any of my steps for a week or 2. I can't remember now. But I still lost
Yes.
centimeters
Yeah.
during that
Yeah.
time. So I think that was amazing to me.
I
Yeah.
remember it because I felt so bad. Because I'd set everyone a challenge to do a 10K walk, and Elizabeth went out and did it, and then got an injury because it was too much too soon. But now you can easily do a 10K walk, and you recovered well, and
Yeah.
you didn't let it derail you. That's the big thing. This is the big
Yeah.
mindset shift. That could
Mm.
have happened, and I do see it sometimes happen with people, and they go, "Oh, that's it. I give up. I'm injured," and I'd feel terrible because I'm the one who encouraged you to do it. I was the instigator of that. But instead, you told me. I felt bad, and then you went to physio, didn't you? And you got some exercises to
Mhm.
strengthen it. Then we just looked at your diet and just made sure it was in accordance with being a bit more sedentary, and you still got results. The fact is, you
Mhm.
just didn't give up.
Yeah.
That's the difference between what happened with you and what might happen with someone else or someone listening to this is instead of letting something derail you completely, you went, "This isn't great," which it wasn't great, and I still feel bad, so let's not talk about it anymore. But accidents and injuries happen. Life happens, and
Mm.
it's realizing that you can still make progress
Mhm.
without perfection. This is literally, hello, everything I
Mhm.
do.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, what are you most proud of yourself for doing during the program? What's your most proud moments?
I think I'm just proud of myself that I kept going because I did have a few weeks like I went on a cruise in May and ate as you do on a cruise when food is plentiful. And so I did put on a little bit, but I got right back to it. And I had other few bumps in the road where my results seemed so slow. And I remember talking to you about it and saying, like, am I doing something wrong? But I wasn't. I just had to keep going and keep trusting what I was doing and trusting the results would come. And yeah, so I'm proud of myself that I didn't let those bumps in the road derail me.
Yeah. And thank you for trusting me because I know it's hard. And as soon as people, because you've had results and then it stops
Mm.
and they're like, well, what am I doing wrong? And sometimes it's just about pushing through and it will push through. I've had another client recently who had it exactly the same. And I was like, please just keep going. Just trust me. I was like, firstly, I'll always say to you, promise me you're doing everything I tell you to do. Because if you're not doing everything I tell you to do and your results stall, there's a user error there, right? But you promise me, and I trust you, and you trust me, and I just go keep going. We don't change anything. I don't drastically go, oh, we best just stop eating then to get results. I'm like, just keep going. Just the body works in mysterious ways sometimes. A couple of weeks sometimes. Push through. Everything will be fine, and you did. Just for factual, if anyone likes a fun fact, the average weight increase of a person after a cruise is at least a stone. Usually, a stone in weight.
A whole stone, and I lost
Yeah.
that's a huge amount, you see, because I'm still on the
You
other
did
measurement. It doesn't
You
mean a lot
did,
to
yeah,
me.
but you didn't put on a stone, I don't think. Anyway, you got straight back to it. That's what matters though. And I want people to enjoy the holidays. You work hard, save up all this money. I don't want you to go on this week cruise and be like, oh, I only ate lettuce all week and all these beautiful restaurants and ice cream. But I do remember you did come back and you went, I feel a bit crap after
Oh, well,
eating
I felt
all
crap the whole week. My stomach was not happy. It was not happy with me, like, yeah, but I was like I was enjoying eating, but not the feeling of it, so I was relieved to get back on track. So a stone, I think I put on 2.5 to 3 kilos,
yeah.
so
And
which,
a lot of it was water weight and it dropped straight off anyway.
mm,
It wasn't body fat and you just got straight back to it. And that's the difference. You didn't come back and then go, well, I'll start next week or maybe the week after. And then it's, a month and then it's another month. You just went back on it.
I
You were like,
did
I feel rubbish.
on the way home, we used a coach from Southampton back to Hull, and we had a food stop on the way, and others in the family were having s- fast food, and I went to one of the little food stores and I got myself a protein drink and a bag of nuts and things.
It's the one thing that comes with it that's a bit annoying sometimes that even when you do have like holidays or things like that and you indulge and enjoy yourself, like when it comes to this Christmas, I bet you'll be like, you'll have some indulgences, but you'll be like, right, I want to get back to the healthy eating now because it makes you feel good.
Does
That's
yeah.
great. So, last question. What about day-to-day life has changed since we started? So, what's changed in well, you've already said a lot of things, but go again.
Well, I'm loving all the extra exercise as we've talked about. I had a little health issue a month or so, 2 ago, where I slowed down on that, but getting back to it, I don't know. I feel great for doing it. I actually enjoy my workouts. So that is a big thing, and obviously make time for it now. Whereas before, at the 5,000 step mark, I resented it a little bit because it interrupted but it's become a way of life. So I love that. I love that. My life feels full and rich. I felt, in comparison to the last 5 years of just surviving, I love my life, and I feel more me than I ever have. I think because yeah, it's true. Like you said at the beginning, sometimes when you're struggling with mental health things, it's a challenge to get out there and do exercises and whatnot, exercise. But in contrast, I do feel a more settled, peaceful version of me. And I think it's a lot to do with it. I just wonder why I didn't start earlier because it makes a
Golden
huge
question. The golden
difference.
question. Absolutely. But it's
Yeah.
better to start now than to have never started. So we look at the
Yeah.
The cup is half full, always half full, Elizabeth. Right, we'll end it there. Thank you so much for taking your time to come on today. I love your story and I love you, and I'm so grateful to have helped you. But and now we have shared this with the world, and everyone gets to hear your story and resonate with it. And I hope it gives them hope, and you'll be the reason that they have hope in the future as well. So now you can pass
Mm.
that on. So thank you. You'll still be in my life anyway. You'll still see Elizabeth around. Obviously she's not going anywhere, but she'll always be a part of Fit Girl Club. So thanks for stopping by, and yeah, thanks everyone for listening. I'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks, Helen.